I'm Marianna Peeler, and I own Peeler Farms. We are in Floresville, Texas, and we raise beef and lamb and eggs and water buffalo. The farm is about 3,000 acres, and we have roughly 300 cows and about the same amount of lambs, and we have about 75 chickens. Actually, yeah, we do, because we have one rooster, and then we have hens, which are girls, and then we have rams, which are male lambs, and then we have ewes, which is a female lamb, and then we have bulls, and then we have cows, which are the female, and then water buffalo is the same. They're called a bull if it's a male and a cow if it's a female. And then we have boy and girl dogs. Right, the chickens in a day just spend all of their day cackling and roaming around looking for food and scratching at the ground and laying eggs, and that's pretty much a day in the life of a chicken. And then the same thing at night, just instinctively as the sun is about to go down, they put themselves to bed, and they prefer to be on something high off the ground, which again protects them. If something comes in the coop, they have the advantage of being high and not being eaten by something. And then right around the sun coming up, they all come out in the mornings and start their day again. Our chickens eat anything that they can find around the farms, and they look for bugs and worms and anything that they can find to eat. And then we have feeders in their coop that we use, just an organic pellet feed for them that they eat, because they can't always get as nutritious of food during the winter months, but right now during the summertime, the chickens can eat. They almost don't eat their feed because there's so much growing right now, so they love the little new shoots of plants that are coming up and digging, for worms and roly-polies and things like that. They lay one in a 24-hour cycle. A hen will not start laying till she's about 24 weeks old, and then they start laying, and they around 2 or 3 years old is when they lay the most eggs. It's a really good cycle, and then as they get older, they slow down. The cows eat in a day. They eat grass, and then we also have troughs out at the where we put feed. So they come out and they'll eat the feed in the trough. They'll eat the grass on the ground. They lay under trees. Sometimes if it's hot, they go in the water and lay in the water, and all you see is their head. But they have a pretty good life out here. So water buffalo looks different. It looks, they're all black. There might be a few that are a dark brown, but they're all black. They have horns that kind of curve and go up. When they look at you, they snort. They hold their nose up and they snort at you. They prefer water in the heat. They go all the way under, and all you see is their nose and their eyes and their horns. Their entire body is immersed in the water. So when they come out, they're just covered in mud. Most of our cows don't have horns. It's called being polled. And we have polled cattle so that they don't have horns, and they will get in the water as well when it's hot, but it's not that they won't go all the way down to their eyes like a hippo. They will, they go in just to their body to cool themselves off. And most of our cattle are a reddish brown, and when a cow sees you, it usually just looks up at you and then keeps eating grass. It doesn't snort at you. A lamb's day would be a little bit depends on, is it a ewe, which is a girl, or a ram, which is a boy. But a ewe's day is usually taking care of her baby, especially during lambing season. And so they live out in the pasture as well. And if you're a male lamb, you get to just hang out in pastures with the females. That's your job. So we have livestock guardian dogs. The ones that we have are Great Pyrenees, which are big white fluffy dogs. And their main job, and we didn't even have to teach them, it's just an instinct for the dog, is to protect whatever they live with. So they are usually born out in the pasture with whatever animal that their job is to protect. So they're raised with the lambs, and that's what they consider their group. So they protect it from coyotes, birds, people, any predator, other dogs that might be stray dogs that are coming in to hurt that animal, the lambs. They're also very good at night herding the lambs into a small little ball, and then the dogs work the perimeter. So they're friendly, but they don't want to come inside, and they would much prefer to be out with the lambs. Like, they don't want to be with people. They are friendly enough to be fed and be given their shots and kept healthy, but they have no interest in laying with us in the bed or being inside. We have about 13 cowboys that work for us. They watch the cattle every day. That's really their main job. And so the animals get moved by cowboys on horseback, or there are times that we move them using four-wheelers and just move them from place to place. And they use fences to help keep the animals staying in one direction, and then the cowboys and the horses will be on one side and a fence on the other, and then the animals will just follow that down to the next pasture. Then they'll close the gate behind them. Once a week, I cook lunch for the cowboys, so they get to come up and eat lunch, which they enjoy, and it's fun to cook because they get to kind of try different recipes that I make, but they get to have a break where they come up and we have a big family style lunch. So in the summertime, they get to work about 4 a.m, but their day is over at like 1 because it's so hot that it's not safe for them, it's not safe for the animals. And then in the winter, they'll start their mornings a little bit later, like 7 or 8, and then work till 4 or 5. So depending on the temperature and the season, depends on their daily schedule and time. But they're the keepers of the animals every day. We have about 7 or 8 different buildings on the farm. We have 2 offices, and we have a commercial kitchen. We have a milking parlor on the farm for our water buffalo where we milk them. And then we have lots of different barns where we just store equipment, tractors, hay, feed. And then we also have a big storage silo where we store all of our different grains that we feed the animals. I get up, but that's by choice. I get up about 4:30 in the morning, and then I'm usually at work by about 6:30 or 7. Our day usually ends around 7, so it's a long day. But it's nice because some of the parts of that day are, petting puppies or being out with baby water buffalo or, delivering meat to a restaurant. So there's a lot of fun that comes in the day, but it's a long day. Every day is different. I never know what's gonna happen in a day. So the day may start with a plan, but then there might be, all of a sudden we have livestock guardian dogs that live with our chickens and live with our sheep, and all of a sudden one of them might have puppies and we didn't know they were going to have puppies, and so the day stops for me to go out there and check that. Or I'll look out the window and our cowboys will be moving lambs through, and then I usually have to stop what I'm doing. I don't know they're doing those things until they happen, and there might be a baby lamb left behind, and so then I have to help move those along. So every day is just different because it's a farm and things are changing and you don't know what's going to happen that day. But there's usually a plan. It doesn't mean we stick to the plan. So things that I've learned in school that I would use on a farm would be math, for sure, because if I'm filling up like chicken feeders and I have 4 feeders and a bag weighs 50 pounds, I've got to figure out how many bags can I put in each one, and then how much does each chicken eat. So I've got to know math to do that. What an animal does on a daily basis, because you don't know that. Nobody teaches you that. So like the chicken laying an egg, when he lays an egg, or she lays the egg, it's soft and not hard. I would have never learned that in school, but I learned it by working here because you see the soft egg first and then the air makes the shell hard. That's one thing I've learned that I didn't learn in school. Well, working in the garden is really dirty because you're on your hands and knees and you're digging things up and you're planting. That's a really dirty part of the job. And then I think working with the chickens, collecting eggs and stuff can be a dirty job because, again, you don't know where the eggs are all the time. So a lot of times I'm crawling under a tractor, or I'm crawling, under the chicken coop. They don't lay them in the nest, they'll lay them. So it depends on where they lay, where I'm digging things out of. So that can be dirty. Oh, the best part about being a farmer is being able to work outside and work with family, because all of our family works here with us, from my husband to my in-laws and to our children. So that's my favorite part, is being able to be outside. And then working with animals. I love doing that. And then probably being able to provide things for people between eggs and beef and lamb and flowers that just every day people can't just walk outside and get. So that's the appreciation I see from people at the farmers market when they buy things from me, because most people know how much work it is. That's really nice too. But being outside, I like that part. There's always something successful every day at the farm. If it's that I kept a baby lamb alive that's mother couldn't, or if I go out to the garden and I see the little zinnias coming up or sunflowers coming up, yay, look, it's like Christmas. If you go out and your hens are finally laying eggs if they're young, and so I think every day there's something good that happens here. So all of that is probably the most rewarding part.